you had met Tupac back in the day. You've commented about him a couple times. Some interesting stuff has come out about Tupac recently. John Singleton was originally supposed to direct the Tupac movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the script that he put together included a rape scene in prison.
Mm.
The producers were upset, so he got kicked off the project, and Benny Boone was brought in, and he ultimately directed the film. But there was a prison phone call that I have heard. It's not public, but I actually heard this, where this guy was talking to Suge Knight in prison over a jail call. And he was talking about the whole John Singleton thing and the rape scene. And Suge basically said, well, yeah, that kind of happened. So, you need to put the truth out there. So that came out. And then recently, this isn't out yet, but I interviewed Detective Bill Courtney. He's an ex-NYPD detective who worked on a bunch of different cases. He actually worked on the Keefe D case. He worked around various Tupac cases, like, the Haitian Jack cases and so forth. And he said that one of the guys that was cooperating with him said that Jimmy Henchman paid someone to sexually assault Tupac in prison. And he thinks that's why when Tupac got out, he was so angry and just so crazy because of what had happened in prison. Do you believe it or not believe it? You don't think that happened?
There's people who believe that?
Do you believe it?
No.
Why?
Because how would it be? Oh, it would come out now. Like, no. I mean, I don't think you could keep something like that secret.
A prison rape? People don't really brag about that.
Yeah, they do. You think nobody's going to brag about that?
I raped Tupac. Let me go do some interviews.
Not an interview. I mean, people going. I seriously doubt that would be kept quiet.
This rumor has been floating around. I remember even Chino XL, who recently passed away, he had a line about Tupac being raped in prison and Tupac did.
Well, it would be passed on by people who want to believe it. I don't believe that for a second. Just, as far as what I believe, no, I don't believe. I don't believe something like that could be kept quiet.
I don't know. I obviously wasn't there, but I can imagine the trauma that a man would go through going through something like that. And I can imagine how angry you would be living through that.
Yeah, I don't believe that. People want to say things like that,
Well, I interviewed Bill Haney, Devin Haney's dad, and he actually knew Tupac early on. This is around the Brenda's Got a Baby era. And the way he described Tupac was basically similar to the way you described him. Said that he was, a poet, he was an artist, he wasn't this like super gangster type guy, and he was fun-loving and so forth. But, he's like, people don't want to look at him like that. He didn't present himself like that, so,
They don't. I mean, believe me, there's the funny thing is I know people want to hate on me for that, but like there's no benefit for me to say anything. I'm trying to educate people to where he's not what a lot of us are not what we present ourselves to be.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is in glowing regard to the man. It's nothing was negative about that. The fact that he was able to, that's why I said I think he would win an Academy Award, because people, I know what I know, and I know he could, I know other facets to the guy. I think that makes somebody very interesting. And that's why I ask people, well, look in the past. And I think that's a very interesting thing and a good testament to who he is. So yeah, I know a lot of other people who know a different, that side of him, the artistic side, and to a lot of people who worked with him, who knew better. But I mean, it's people. It's like, here's one of the things I think we said this about him as well. It's like, I feel like, Tupac was the Elvis of hip hop. Because when people compare like Biggie and Tupac, whatever, just like people compare LeBron James and Jordan. I always say, okay, let's an interesting thing is if you switch brains, okay, or switch certain aspects about the person. Okay, you put Biggie's lyrics in Tupac's image and just see what you have there. I'm not going to say anything else. Just see what you, like if Tupac is saying Biggie's lyrics, looking the way he does, you switch, you put Tupac's lyrics in Biggie's body. Now imagine Biggie rapping like Tupac. I'm not going to say anything. Just imagine it and see what you arrive. Just like, okay, so when you do this experiment with Jordan and LeBron, you take Michael Jordan's brain and put it in LeBron James's body. What do you have?
A more competitive LeBron James.
A monster that, you think about that killer instinct and that ability in that body. Now you take LeBron James's brain and put it in Michael Jordan's body. What do you have?
A less successful Michael Jordan?
Well, I didn't say that. You said it. Yeah. So I'm just saying.
Well, I think most people would agree that Jordan was a little more clutch than LeBron.
But it's kind of like when you take you take Michael Jordan's brain and put it in LeBron's body, you go, oh shit. You kind of go, oh shit. There's another element there. So it brings light to something else. Okay, so that's why when I say, when you think about, I think of Tupac as, my goodness, is there a more beautiful looking rapper even to today? A representative of who, and what a star is men want to be like them and women want to sleep with them.
Has there ever been a more charismatic rapper?
Yes. Has there been anybody who's been that dominant? I mean, as far as, like pin up.
I see what you're saying.
Looks.
Yeah, I mean, you could say maybe LL Cool J, but he came before Tupac, obviously.
Doesn't matter. But
that's, I think,
if
was
you
a
ask
similar...
women this image or this image, I don't know. I mean,
most women would rap. If a woman were given a choice to sleep with Tupac or LL Cool J, I mean, Tupac had that edge,
Yeah, there's a bad boy thing to it, and if you're going to be into hip hop, there's a rebellious thing there. There's a whole thing with Tupac. I believe that there's a lot of reasons why he's a lot of people's favorite rapper, and you don't want to desecrate any memory of him. But me telling people he was more of a human being. He was more. He had more facets of his character than what you just think, and there's plenty of reason to see that. It shook people's. I mean, people like don't mess with my image. Like the same thing with Bruce Lee. You tell people. I mean, and Bruce Lee to this day, is there a more charismatic or picturesque martial artist ever? Who would you want to be? I mean, there's nobody. He's on everybody's poster for a reason.
Yeah, listen, if you ask everyone, would they rather be Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan? I think most people want to be Bruce Lee.
Of course.
Now, Jackie Chan had a longer career, has made more money, whatever, but he's not Bruce Lee.
But if if you do the switch, if you put Bruce Lee's brain in Jackie Chan's body, the things that Jackie Chan can do, I still have never seen another human do that. All the stuff that he's able to do is insane.
And he does all his own stunts too,
There's no comparison to what that man physically can do, right? But Bruce Lee's persona, look, everything else makes him the primo. But when you kind of go, okay, what if I did this? If Bruce Lee was doing Jackie Chan stuff and was doing the goofy stuff, you may not want to live vicariously through the goofiness or doing all of this stuff to kick some ass, where Jackie Chan's luckily kicking some ass, because that's what he chose. But if he did the same ass kicking and was doing it viciously, like with that attitude that Bruce Lee does, it would be very, you see certain facets to what Jackie Chan's able to do. And you would look at it a little differently, because if you put Jackie Chan's head on Bruce Lee's body, it's just, it's interesting. It's a similarity where when it comes down to it, you want to live vicariously through somebody, and it's going to be Bruce Lee.